We're back again with another fresh episode of the Stickers and Scuffs podcast, this week with special guest Marlie Owen. This episode has been presented in partnership with our friends at JRS Auctions.
JRS has become one of our premier partners here on the show, and when you see what they've got on tap for this week's auction, you can understand why. This week's auction starts today at 9 a.m., which means it's already started, but it goes all the way until August 27th at 1 p.m.
This crop of exciting items includes a vintage pedal car, vintage bikes, gas pumps, signage of all sorts. One of my favorites, a 1970 Chevelle 396. Yeah, Dad, sorry, it's not yours. Neon signs, motorcycles, including a 2006 Harley Davidson 1200 Sportster, a 1950 Ford two-door coupe. How about this one? The 1998 Indy 500 official Corvette pace car. Ooh. Trailers, boats, scissor lifts, forklifts, and how about this beauty? A 1956 Chev hot rod.
These all can be yours. Just start your bidding at jrsauctions.com to register and bid all the way up to closing time. We want to thank JRS for partnering with us for this episode of the podcast and the Oscar Hot Rods and Modifieds.
Hi, this is Mario Andretti, and you're tuned into Cam, Graydon, and the team at Stickers and Scuffs podcast. They're true Canadian racing fans.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast, presented by JRS Auctions, specifically for this episode, with our special guest out of Peterborough Speedway. She is fresh coming off of his second place finish in the Superstock feature. Marlie Owen joins us. Marlie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, this is exciting because we have a couple people that we've been getting requests for. You are one of them. And, you know, we really want to we'd like to hear about people's stories. We obviously work a lot with, let me just make sure I get the right side, Ladies of the Oval as well. So we always want to make sure that we have an opportunity to rep ladies that are badass and racing and winning out on the racetrack. So the big question, I guess, we're going to start is, how did you find your way into racing? Because here in Canada, one thing we know is, with a name like Marlie, you'd think you go straight into hockey, right? But
Yeah.
you're in racing. So how did that whole come together?
Well, my dad raced super lates for years. He started racing probably when he was like 16, that age, with all of his buddies, and that carried on. They had me, and then it was, from there on, I got started. I started go-karts when I was 7, and then I raced at Kawartha Downs. In Peterborough there. So they made a track like throughout the infield and around the corners, and that's where I got my start. I did that for
cool
8 years, and then it was time to move up to the stock cars at the circle track, and then we built the car, and that's that.
So where does the I want to go racing come from? Is it just because you saw your dad doing it, or you saw other people doing it, looked like fun? Because again, is it the way of life thing?
Yeah,
I'm a fan of racers, but I myself never do it. I'm not that crazy. So what was it that led you to being, sorry, Graydon. What is it that kind of was like the moment, like, I want to do this?
I've seen a lot of people answer this question. They always say they always wanted to race, and I always had the bug too, but I don't know when it started or if it was just my dad saying, let's get a go-kart and let's do it. And then I was like right on board. I think that's mostly how it went, but I had a snowmobile when I was 2 and a four-wheeler, and it started from there, just the racing in the blood kind of thing. And then yeah, I think I just love the go-karting and I wanted to move up and do something else, and just the stock car racing and the atmosphere and just seeing how much fun we had over the years, like with my dad, and I just wanted to get into it as well.
Was
So safe to say,
was your dad on board with you racing right away?
Yeah, fully. Yeah, it was, if I was a boy or a girl, I was racing. So yeah, he really wanted me to race, and my mom loves it just as much, and my whole family loves it. My uncles, my aunts, my grandparents, everybody, they really enjoy it. If you come to my pits, usually it's full of people all the time.
So safe to say it is a way of life. It's something that's it's throughout your family and just what you guys know, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody knows, like, what's Marlie doing this weekend? Oh, we're going to the racetrack. Like, all my friends know since I was like younger in school, and they all knew, oh, yep, Marlie's going to the racetrack. Well, see her later in the week, or just stuff like that. And my family, they always show up on Saturday morning. They see if our car's ready to go, and then they'll have a morning coffee. Okay, we'll see you later. See you at the track. And we always meet out there.
That's cool. I'm glad you brought that up, because in your circle of friends as a kid, being a race car driver isn't a normal thing. What's that like? Yeah, like you say, your friends know where you're off to on the weekends and stuff. So I don't know, what's that like? Because it's such a badass thing to do, honestly. Like, so it's is it kind of cool when you're at school, like leading up to the weekend, and you're getting kind of excited and amped up to go racing?
Yeah, it's different when, like, when you meet new people, they ask you like what you're into, what you do, and you hear like all the different kinds of sports, soccer, hockey, or maybe people like dance, that kind of stuff. And I say I race cars on the weekend, and most
And
people
then the record
shocked.
scratches stops, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Everybody's very shocked, and they kind of look at me like, you race the car? And I'm like, oh yeah, I do that. And they actually think it's really awesome. And if people ever want to come out, the first time I say, it is different. You're not going to watch a hockey game, you're come to the racetrack, different atmosphere. But mostly all my friends that have met me and saw me race and they come to the track, they really enjoy it, and they think it's great that I have my own thing that I do, and they're very supportive. All my friends love it.
That's great to hear, especially from myself, which it's funny we talk about having such a welcoming atmosphere. I grew up in in the city. So it was not a thing to like racing here in the GTA, and it still kind of isn't. When you tell people that you like, racing, oh, you're a redneck?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, in a way. Yeah, we kind of are. But when you start, I got to hear more about Kawartha, because it's a track that sadly is not in operation any longer. But growing up there, how was that track in comparison to Peterborough?
Well, I always like watched my dad race the super late models there, and it was always like a really quick track, and they were pretty neat how they got the go-karts. Like they would take out like the Jersey barriers and turn 3, and then on the front stretch they'd take those out, and they'd make little like chicanes around, and they did a really nice job. Like the Kawartha Downs Kart Club did a really nice job for everybody that showed up. Like you get a separate group than the Mossport people, so it was really nice. It was a little family there, and the track was super fun. They'd change the layout every couple weeks, or you'd go like the opposite way, and yeah,
okay,
it was cool.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my god, that's so awesome.
Yeah, damn.
Oh, rest in peace,
I wish I had
Speedway.
videos, but yeah.
Well, so then you made the move from karts to super. You went immediately to super stocks.
Yeah, I did.
Holy moly!
Yeah, I didn't do any mini stocks or bone stocks. The super stocks is what my dad knew, and that's what he knew to do, and he could like build engines, so it was much easier that way. And he never did much stuff with the mini stock, so it was just easier for us to jump up that way. And get me comfortable. And then I started racing in that class.
And how was the adjustment?
I don't think it was too bad. I think the first time I went on the track was like, wow, this is what my dad sees when he goes out here. Like, it was a big adjustment. You're so much higher, right? You're not on the ground in the go-kart anymore, and just the feel of it. And it was great.
Oh, man.
I think it, like, if you don't know any different, you just, like, you aren't aware of, like, the quote unquote steps from, like, that's your A to B. It isn't everybody's A to B, but that's the next chapter. And it was just like, okay, this isn't a go-kart now. This is a super stock. So you learn and do, and having the benefit of youth you just kind of adapt and pick up the discipline. And in doing that, you become a role model to tons of kids who see it with your, like the fan appreciation nights and that sort of thing, and having, as you say, people at your pits and stuff. That it's a really cool thing to have kids come up to you and see you as a race car driver and idolize you, like, oh my God, this is what you do. Talk about a little bit about being a role model to not just little girls, but little boys, like anybody that just being a race car driver. I mean, it's such a great thing.
Yeah, I think being a role model and seeing the younger generations that come to the track, or the first time families that come to the track for just their first time ever race outing event kind of thing, it's really cool to see and have them like come up and be so surprised of like how we do things, or like just really enjoy it. And the little kids, they always like come over, and it's the first time sometimes like seeing a race car, right? Like up close and personal. So it's always great to have them like sit in the car. And I'm a little bit smaller than most of the people I race against, so a lot of the kids can kind of see, like, get a good view of my seat and everything, and they love it. And they love seeing like the steering wheel go on, all the little buttons, like you switch on and off. And yeah, I think it's cool to see all the kids enjoy it. And I like seeing all the little girls will come up and they'll hop in and they look at their dad and they say, oh, I want a race car. It's like, uh-oh, we're starting something here.
Well, you guys are definitely doing something right out at Peterborough Speedway, because the amount of young girls, even just in the junior late model division, is staggering, and they're good. Like, they're kicking butt out there. They're beating the boys. And as somebody, both of us that rep and absolutely support Ladies of the Oval, I'm very curious what your experience was like while you were getting used to racing. Obviously, the gender difference is pretty significant. It is mostly a more male-dominated sport. So for your experience when you first started out, was it a welcoming environment for you?
I think at Peterborough, for sure, it was welcoming. I think a lot of people knew my dad, and everybody really respected my dad at the racetrack. And I think that kind of carried on when I started, and people saw me as like, John's girl's out there, she's gonna race. And that was like my number one thing, is you have to race with respect in order to get it back. And I think I've done pretty well with that, and I never had any issues. I've never really come across anything that's really crazy with the whole gender difference, but all the guys I race against are pretty good, and they get to know me. And yeah, I think it's good. Yeah,
you've got some heavy hitters in that super stock division. You've got some of our SNS buddies in Brandon Feeney and Donovan Price, who you always got to end up passing. Sorry, Donovan. He's not going to like that comment.
No, he's going to come off the top rope. He's
going to kick me in the face for that. Yeah. I should have thought that through. But then you've got
one Miles, coming, brother.
Miles Tyson, Garrett Temersma also coming out there. Mark Gordon, really competitive, even though it's a pretty small division. Super stocks in a whole, I think we can all kind of admit it is having a harder time in 2023 with the counts. It's a very competitive, but also very expensive division. How has it been for you guys in 2023? Have you found the competition even tougher? Have you found the Qwick races? Obviously, you had some great finishes in the Qwick races. So how are things on terms of the Superstock division in 2023?
I think it's been okay. I mean, the car count has went down a little bit. I mean, everybody's still trying to show up as much as they can and get the races in and support the tracks. I think everybody's doing a great job. I mean, I saw at Flamborough, I think everybody saw that they were going to cancel all the Superstock nights, and then they rebooted again just because of all the support. And I think everybody's really trying as much as they can, like with all the price issues and stuff. Like everybody's doing the best, and we've been okay. I mean, we usually run a full entire season at Peterborough Speedway, but I said, you know what, let's just do whatever we want to do, and maybe we'll travel, we'll do this, we'll do that, like less pressure off us to do anything. And we've had fun doing it, and I think it's been a good year. I mean, Peterborough went to a more cost-friendly tire, which is good. I think we're on the same set besides one tire I had to pick up, but other than that, I think it's been good.
That's always refreshing to hear, especially because there are situations where accounts are desperate. A case like you said, Flamborough. When you started racing, has there been much of a change since then in terms of people out at the track, fan crowds? I think pre and post COVID, I think what Graydon and I have talked about this year is the Pinty's crowds have been phenomenal. Weekly racing, it seems like Peterborough has been packed, it seems like. And obviously, it sounds like the fan base is there.
I think it is. I think Peterborough has always done a great job with doing the fan appreciations and getting all the families out and making sure everybody's having a good time. I mean, there's not one night on the schedule that doesn't have something to include everyone or have everyone out there. Or they do the corn, or they do the kids' rides, or they did the barrel races last weekend, all the fan appreciations. I think it's a great way to keep everybody coming out. And I mean, COVID, maybe it did die down a bit, but last weekend it looked great. I think everybody's still coming to the track. They missed it, so they're still coming.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see like JP and everyone at Peterborough Speedway does a great job with all the fan engagement and energy that they put on there. It's really they do a great job.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 nights I was there, each night was a fan appreciation night. So the first 3 Superstock races, we were always down, like we had to get candy and all of our autograph cards. And it's probably one of my favorite things is going down there and seeing all the fans, and people love it. It's just more enjoyable. You get to go down and look at everybody. So I think
it's a way. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a way to engage the fans like no other. When they're kind of the centerpiece, aside from the racing, you put them on display and let them come down, see, feel, touch the cars, and get an autograph, a picture with the driver. It's a way that single experience, and again, as a role model, that all it takes is just maybe that one single experience for a kid or a 40-year-old. It doesn't matter to go from casual fan or like a never before to a diehard, and that's exactly what motorsports needs.
For sure. Those 2 girls I saw on Facebook the other day, they posted that picture in front of my car, and she actually made me a little foam thing with the number 21 on it so I can make it a keychain. Yeah,
cool.
Stuff like that. It's really
cute. It's stuff like that.
Yes.
That just the one thing that we have in racing that is an advantage is that in hockey, you don't really get to do that. You know, when you watch a hockey game, they go in, they go out, and you watch them on the ice. Baseball, they go in, they go out. You know, occasionally they'll do like the Junior Jays thing where you can run the bases and get some autographs and stuff. But racing is the only one where you can go and you get free stuff.
Yeah.
From the competitor. From
the competitors, where you are actually going to speak with the driver that's going to be on the racetrack that could be winning the race. And I know Peterborough holds a place near and dear to my heart because it's the only original track that I went to as a kid that still remains. Mossborough Oval is unfortunately long since gone, and I have a lot of great memories at that track. And you know, to see now you guys are getting your stuff put out on YouTube, which I'm really happy to see. Corey Strawn putting the weekly racing stuff, the little short specials that they're putting out from Peterborough. One was actually based on you as well. It's nice to see that type of stuff. And I think for yourself as a competitor who has partners, you know, you've got partners on the shirt that you're repping. You have them on the car that you're repping. That's just more airtime for them. Is that something that not just you, but all tracks have to follow?
I think so. I think a lot of the tracks do very well with promoting themselves and doing the videos and the interviews, or going on Twitter and updating everyone. And I think it's really nice that the Strons came out and started doing the videos. I mean, I love watching them. We never used to have anybody videoing, and I always used to watch Sunsets or Flambros or Delawares, and I thought, oh, like, when are we ever gonna get something? So yeah, it's awesome that Strawn does that, and we get to see everything. And the interviews this year, Jeremy Kelly did an awesome video. I'm very thankful for that, and getting to see our side and my family side and what we do is really great, and I think it promotes Peterborough really well.
It's one of the things that I think all tracks were starting to really realize the power of social media. It is crazy how a post that we did last year on how your season went got some of the most views that our podcast has ever had on Instagram. And I'll be honest, Grady and I are ancient. We don't understand Instagram at all. We're more of the Facebook type of stuff. But for whatever reason, that really seemed to work. And then all of a sudden, if one person shares it, then that person shares it, then your partners share it. And then all of a sudden, it gets seen by thousands and thousands of people. So for you guys as a team, where have you found the changes for this year in terms of what you're doing on social media, what you're doing in terms of stuff at the track for engagement?
Well, I think most people know my dad and I kind of keep very quiet off of social media. We've never really been big posters, and he's always cautioned me just to watch what you're posting, and we're very smart that way. That's why you'll never see me in any comments or liking controversial stuff. But I mean, this year we really vamped it up, I think, with doing the videos and like coming on the podcast and posting a little bit more and sharing a little bit more. But yeah, we're usually a little bit quiet, just a little family team.
A little family team, but man, you guys have strength. You guys have you've been able to win. You finish second. You haven't had a win this year, I don't believe. Not a feature win yet, right?
No, not this year. Not this year.
But you have had a feature win. I believe you had one last year, if I'm correct. Yes.
Yeah, I had two last year. I think one before, and I think my last one was 2019. I think that was my first one.
So successful.
I don't know.
Still lots of time. Still lots of time to have a feature win. The season seems to go by so very, very quickly, and you actually had a brand new look this year for the car, which floored me because I didn't expect to see that. It looks phenomenal. What was the decision behind doing a brand new look for you guys this year?
Well, yes, going back to the small team, it's always been red. If my dad's car's always been red. He's always built his own bodies, and this year, this would be the first every year he's never put on a body like for himself. So we had someone else put the body on, and then it was just the decision that we have an opportunity to change it up for a year. So we have a great sponsor, Stewart's Equipment, Jeff and Mike, and we thought, let's do Kubota Orange, and it's as close as red as we can get. So we did that. It looks great, and I had some great people design it and put it on, and yeah.
It is a beautiful looking car. It looks very, very sleek, very, very fast. I've
never run a Kubota machine I haven't liked either.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I mean, when are we going to get the giveaway though, right? When is Stewart's going to give away a tractor at a racetrack? That's a contest.
Maybe a raffle.
Yeah, we'll raffle it off. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Graydon will just there you go. Mike, Jeff, there you go. Some ideas. We'll do the Marlie Owen tractor giveaway. Somehow I don't think that's gonna fly though. It's pretty expensive. But obviously one of the things that we really like is having people that have been on the podcast that we believe in and that are really good reps for the sport. And, there's the way that people interact with the fans. And when I saw you interacting with fans last year at Autumn Colors, it was like, that's somebody who we want to help represent our podcast, carry our decal. And you have, again, graciously for 2 seasons, and we hope to obviously continue that, but we want to give you an opportunity, Marlie, on the podcast to shout out all the people that get you to the racetrack each and every week. We did tell you ahead of time so you could prepare, because we don't want to have situations happen, right, Greg? We've had a couple people that are like, I don't have my list with me. Yes, so you got to make sure that you remember all the people and all the partners that get you to the racetrack. Here's your moment to thank them.
Well, thank you. I just want to thank you guys first for having me on and having me on board for 2 years. It's great. I really enjoy being a part of the Stickers and Scuffs team. And I want to just thank my family, my dad and my mom. They're very supportive. I mean, I wouldn't be here without my dad doing all this hard work on the car, and all my guys at home. And they put in a lot of work. And I also want to thank my sponsors, Stewart's Equipment, Arbrooking Tree Service. We've had them on the longest. Jim's Auto Repair was a new one this year. Family friend, great people. And Custom Mobile Wash, Curtis Septic, City Dairy Peterborough, and Williams Auto. Those are all my sponsors I'd like to thank today.
Perfect. It's like she wrote a script. I gotta ask, with the City Dairy, you must get all like a ton of like free milk and ice cream, right? Like,
yeah, they actually do all the milk around this area in like Port Hope and Coburg. They deliver, I think it's Seal Test, I believe, that they deliver.
Oh man, that's wicked. I always like to ask that. I'm like, what does the partnership get at the end of the day? And like, if you get those samples, I mean, if you get to a time where we get friggin' milkshakes at the back of Marlie Owen's right at the end of the race,
that'd be good.
like, there we go, right? Marketing gold.
All of our sponsors have like a little thing that they'll give us, like our tree service people, like they'll give us wood for our shop to heat our shop over the winter, and we're really grateful for that. It's just stuff like that you don't really think of. You always think it's just going right to the car, but it always starts somewhere and always in the shop, right? And it's great.
It absolutely does. It takes a family, and it, as you say, you're a small family team, and all those things add up. I mean, to have a warm shop to work in the off season, I mean, that's so cool. I mean, every level of it doesn't matter how, but it offsets money that you'd have to put out one way or another. I mean, that's great to hear those things. So thank you so much for your time, Marlie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's not a problem. Obviously, you've been on the list for a while. We wanted to make sure that we wanted to make sure that you were comfortable, though. Like that's one of the things. Right? It isn't the easiest thing. As we talked about, a lot of people in Ontario racing don't have a ton of places to do interviews, and so we were just happy that we were able to get this one knocked out and able to speak with somebody out of Peterborough too. I mean, we haven't had a ton of people on the podcast out of Peterborough Speedway, so it's great to have you on, and obviously we just want to throw out where else people can see you for the rest of the season. Are you just Peterborough, or do you have another Qwick race coming up? Just to confirm your schedule for everybody.
Yeah, I will be racing this weekend, Saturday at Peterborough Speedway. And then I believe it's the championship night, Labor Day weekend, like usual. I'll be there. And then I think we're going to make the trip to Delaware for the final race. I think we're going to do it and just have some fun. We're going to go camping and just see if we can qualify well and stay out of trouble and keep to the front. I've had 2 7ths so far in the Qwick, so hopefully we can do that or even better. And then Autumn Colors. Oh yeah,
we're looking forward to Autumn Colors. That's the ticket right there. Back when you're at home, and last year was crushed because you were, I think, running third at the time and got spun by. It doesn't matter who. Who was it?
All Pepper.
Oh, you got peppered. Oh no.
Yeah.
Peppered.
But we're not gonna have that happen this year. It'd be even better this year. And all the best to you, Marlie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you guys.